Paul is in court to claim £270 for the amount owed for a holiday which he paid for on the agreement his friend would contribute half towards the cost. Defendant Tim disputes owing this amount and says, as there was no written agreement, he owes nothing.
Do we have Tim here?
Yes.
Thank you very much, Tim. And Paul, you're standing like an homage to sort of Clint Eastwood and John Wayne.
Fair comment.
Oh, thank you. Yes, it's not a fair comment, it's an accurate one. Yeah. Good morning, Paul.
Good morning, sir.
This is a matter you've brought against Tim, who you've known for some time. And it's not for the greatest amount of money, but it's a matter of principle, correct?
Yes.
How long have you known Paul, please?
Since we were at school together, 5 or 6 years old.
And you, I think after a while, drifted apart, is that right?
Yeah, I lived overseas.
You lived overseas. You, I think, what was your job?
I was in logistics.
Paul!
Yes.
You've known Tim for a good number of years, and he was a very good friend to you many years ago, correct?
Yes, fair, it's true, yeah.
Well, it must be true, because that's what you say in your papers. And you drifted apart, but at some point, Paul, as I understand it, you had some health difficulties, correct?
Yeah, quite serious, yeah.
Very serious, in fact. It's right to say you had a heart attack.
Yeah.
And you're doing OK now, but at the time, it was particularly troubling, yes?
Yep.
Right, you wanted to get well, and it was suggested to you by your medical professionals that a holiday might be a good idea, right?
It's a bit more complicated. The fact was that the wife had been looking after me for 3 months. I put her under a lot of pressure. She needed a break herself, so...
She needed a break from you?
Me, yeah.
Understood. And so you wanted a holiday. Now, it wasn't necessarily, bearing in mind your condition, the wisest thing or the most pleasant thing to go away on your own.
I could have done, yeah.
Of course you could have done.
I have done since then anyway, so...
Right, but on this occasion, Tim came into the frame, yes?
Well, I used to see Tim 2 or 3 days a week. We were talking all the time about travelling, so...
Exactly so, because, Tim, you have a special interest in travel. Where is this in the country? Where do you live?
In Southampton.
Right, so you are, as far as I can gather, in many respects you have common features with her, but you are Southampton's answer to Judith Chalmers, am I right?
Yeah, yes.
Wish you were here, that sort of thing?
Yes.
Because you are a travel writer, is that true?
Yes, I am.
You say you are. I'm just wondering, how many countries have you been to in the last sort of 4 years?
Probably 20.
20, and I've seen some photographs. Let's have a look. Where's that?
Central Greece.
How very beautiful. And so on and so forth. And you write articles, I think. How many articles have you written in the last 5 years that have been published in newspapers, magazines, that sort of thing?
Very few, about 5.
5?
Yeah.
So when you say you're a travel writer, that's not your main income?
No, not at all.
It's a hobby?
I'm an aspiring travel writer, I like to think, and yes, it is more of a hobby, but...
When you're not aspiring to travel write, what else do you do?
I work in security in Southampton docks, the cruise ships.
Right, yes. And you don't sort of stow away from time to time?
No, I don't like cruise ships, but...
Why not?
They seem to be a bit too crowded, a bit too Bogner for me.
Too what?
Bogner.
What's wrong with Bogner?
There's nothing wrong with Bogner, just like it's a lot of people in one place at the same time, probably.
Yes, you only like deserted islands, do you?
Not so much deserted, but hey, maybe semi-deserted, yeah.
You like semi-deserted places? Yes, well, according to Paul's claim, he rather wishes you were on a semi-deserted place too. Because the point is, you got into a discussion about where you were going to go, right? And as an experienced travel writer, and as somebody that really has a good... Well, you have a keen interest in global travel and going somewhere very unique, right? That's really the aspiration of everything you do. Is that right, Tim?
Correct.
So, where did you end up going, Paul?
Tenerife.
What was it about Tenerife, which I'm sure is charming, that you were hoping was going to be different from the humdrum?
That it was a different part of the island from the crowded areas, that it was... I've read about the natural beauty of the island, to go on tours.
You planned to go on... I'm going to put that down. You planned to go on tours.
I did.
What sort of tours? Yes, yes, yes.
I did the Masca Trek, which is 8 miles down through a canyon, hiking. I went on a day tour to the capital, which is Santa Cruz, on the east side of the island.
And I have some photos of Tenerife, in fact. Let's have a look. Very charming. In fact, you're right, it is very beautiful, and there's some wonderful places. Did you go on these tours as well, Paul?
No, I'm a Philistine. Just sit on a sunbed.
You just prefer sitting on a sunbed? Yeah. Well, yes, I understand that. If you enjoyed that video, then I strongly suggest clicking here for more highlights. For those of you who haven't subscribed yet, and why not, so that you never miss out, subscribe. Clicking down there, that's an order.